Alright guys, well, I'm back today with another high value and budget upper assembly from Bear Creek Arsenal. If you're unfamiliar, BCA has been making uppers for a while, and actually when they first created their website day one, I went out and bought an 18-inch upper assembly from them. It shot tight groups, it functioned flawlessly, and I was hooked ever since. That was way before YouTube. Now that I've been shooting them for a while, I've developed pretty good opinions about them, and this is a brand new dual charging upper assembly from Bear Creek that I'm really excited to get out to the channel and put some rounds through. Before we get too far into it, I want to give a huge shout out to Callaway Ballistics for sponsoring the ammo to this channel. They send a lot of 9mm and 223 over. They also have subsonic 300 blackout, subsonic 9mm, and I believe they're releasing 6.5 Creedmoor really soon. Solid ammunition at good prices, and I've got the code 704 Tactical for free shipping on ammo orders over $200. Definitely check those guys out. Now, a dual charging upper assembly. When I heard this at first, I was torn. Now, I've tried the side chargers and they have their benefits, and obviously I've been shooting rear charging guns for a very long time, 10 plus years now. And honestly, I've always picked one or the other and never saw the benefits in having both. That's until I tried them and I realized how elegantly and seamlessly Bear Creek Arsenal really made a dual charging upper assembly. In a nutshell, you have a side charging lever. That's their Generation 2 side charging levers. It's got a hook right here and it's bolted into the side of the bolt. So as you shoot, it reciprocates. It's physically part of the bolt. Then it has the rear charging handle that charges the rifle like normal. And so you can have both of those options right there. The cool thing about having both options on the gun is the fact that it allows you to have the best of both worlds without really any negatives that I've seen. It comes in at an affordable price, and this upper assembly generally sells for $294, which is a great deal. BCA also has free shipping options, so you can just really not worry about the shipping costs on a lot of their upper assemblies. So right off the bat, that's a pretty solid option, but they're on sale right now at the time of filming this video for $269. Then I've got a code that you can stack on top of the sale, 704 Tactical for 5% off, dropping the price down to about $256. And that is a complete 16-inch upper assembly with a free floating rail system and a dual charging system. If you ever wanted to try one out or thought they looked cool, now would be an amazing opportunity to grab one. But we'll still talk about all the positives and negatives of this upper assembly, so you'll want to watch the full review before making your decision. So a lot of times I'll recommend a side charging upper assembly for something where you're going to be mounting an optic or scope, especially a long range precision optic that hangs a little bit further back behind the receiver. It can be cumbersome to use a standard charging handle with an optic like that, but a lot of times people will add extended charging handles. Well, the downfall is when you're slung up and it's resting against your body for you right-handers, that extended charging handle is going to dig into your chest or plate carrier, so I recommend the side charging handle, allowing you easy access without worrying about getting up underneath the optic to charge the weapon. Now, that's a minor inconvenience for most people, but a side charging upper assembly really resolves a lot of those issues, and it makes a clean-feeling gun. So you can have the benefits of side charging a weapon with this side charger right here with an extended optic hanging off the back of the receiver, and then keep the standard charging handle for muscle memory. And as you can see, the standard charging handle doesn't stick out too far, so it may be cumbersome with a large optic, so you can charge here. But say you decide, like this gun, to have a 16-inch gun, and maybe you have an offset LPVO or a red dot, and you no longer need to use the side charging handle, you can go ahead and use that muscle memory to use the basic standard charging handle on the back. Both of them function flawlessly, and again, it's a seamless transition and integration, and I really see no downfall in something like this, especially with the reliability of this system. Normally, I don't start off with the reliability, but I do want to focus on that because a lot of times when you're talking about a new system, reliability can be an issue. In reality, this is not really a new system. It's just their side charging upper assembly with the cutout for the rear charging handle, and it doesn't affect function whatsoever. This gun was 100% reliable right out of the box with no issues whatsoever. It fed and functioned great. We probably ran about 100 rounds of Callaway Ballistics, about 50 or 60 rounds of steel, and then another 50 or 60 rounds of a mixed bag of ammunition, going to about 225 to 250 rounds for this initial first shots video. By no means is this a full review overview of the upper assembly, but more of an overview of a dual charging system that Bear Creek Arsenal offers. Now, I've reviewed a lot of uppers and have well over 1,000 rounds through various BCA rifles with no issues whatsoever. But I want to start talking about those specs and features, and we will talk about some things that I've seen with this particular rifle that I would have done a little bit differently. The first thing is this particular gun is a 5.56 NATO chambered gun, which I absolutely love for just dumping rounds through it. It eats steel, it eats brass, it eats everything you put in it. It also has a free floating rail system, as you see here, and it's one of their newer rail systems with QD slots at the front and rear, and the rail stops just short of the end of the barrel, so you can swap out this universal muzzle brake. Now, this muzzle brake is non-timing, meaning it doesn't use a crush washer because there's no up or down. You simply thread it on, and I love that for suppressor use. You can pop this off, put a direct thread can on, throw this muzzle device back on, and you're good to go, and the QD slots work out nicely. It's got M-LOK slots on the sides and bottom, and a little pick rail section at the top, so you can add your lights, lasers, accessories, whatever you can think of. It integrates pretty seamlessly with the upper assembly, but this is where I would change a couple of things. One, I would like to see some anti-rotation tabs on the rail system. This one held up great, but I've had Bear Creek Arsenal rail systems walk loose in the past because these screws weren't torqued to spec. That did not happen on this. It was torqued correctly. It worked out great. Just something to note, I reviewed enough of these. Honestly, you'll want to check these bolts out of the box. It is what it is. I mean, we're talking about a $256 upper assembly. That is what I would check right out of the box. But generally, if those are loose, I tighten them up and they never walk loose again. The other thing, it may be nitpicking, and I don't want to beat on it too bad, but you can see a slight color difference between the anodization of the rail system and the anodization of the upper assembly. I believe these are batch anodized in different lots, and so you get a slight color variation. That's always frustrating. It seems to match the lower assembly fairly well, but the rail system is slightly off. Again, I don't want to sound nitpicky, but these are some things that I do pick up on Bear Creek Arsenal uppers, and it is what it is. Again, we are talking about a $256 upper assembly after my code. Now, the charging system works great, the functionality works great, and the BCGs are always functioning flawlessly that I've seen in the past 5 or 6 years now. They just know what they're doing, and they've been making guns long enough to produce high-quality, affordable upper assemblies and rifles. So that's pretty much this gun in a nutshell. It's got a lot of positives and really not a lot of negatives, and especially at the price, especially with that sale and especially with that code, I'm a huge fan of this entire upper assembly, and I think you will be too. It's definitely worth a try, especially if you guys have a couple of lowers lying around and you wanted to build out a high value and budget gun. I mean, this is really solid. A lot of times BCA sells lowers. I also have a ton of lower deals on my campsite page. My campsite page is an aggregate site of all the best deals I find on the internet, and some complete lowers over there start at about $129. So when you consider dropping a complete lower and this upper assembly, you could get one of the budget red dot I reviewed and get a complete gun for about $500. That's a very solid option. Honestly, you could probably get it closer to about $450 if you follow those deals on the campsite page. So again, all the information, linking, and codes will be in the description below. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.